What's up, guys and gals? Your host with the most, Griever, as always, bringing you Jujutsu Kaisen! Jujutsu Kaisen Chapter 167 review. Okay, so here's what I took away from this chapter. Number one, Higuruma, Chad level, 100%. I feel like the chapters are going to slightly go down now that we've lost our main man. He has brought us back from the Maki, because in my opinion, you guys know this, it's not that I've been not enjoying Jujutsu Kaisen as of late, but the fact of the matter is that the culling game is not as interesting to me. It seems a little Hunter x Hunter overly complicated, though that is brought up in this chapter, and I like that. I like that, like, this is all basically overcomplicated because it's just trying to mask Kenjaku's real goal, and I'm like, alright, you know what? Culling game, not so great, but the idea that the culling game is there to distract everyone from the real plan, that's some Eisen level thinking right there on Kenjaku's part, so I'm like, alright, that's pretty solid. But fact of the matter is that since the Maki short arc, which for some reason people didn't like, I haven't really been feeling it. Then Higuruma shows up and I'm like, hell yeah, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it when I get that man. So he leaves, unfortunately, at the beginning of this chapter. He adds the rule about transferring points. He gives 1 point. They each keep 1 point. He admits that the judge and the prosecutor that he murdered in cold blood, those are the 2 points. That's why he had 2 points on the thing, right? So since he got his curse, since he's been inside the barrier. So he gives 1 to Yuji. He uses the 100 points to create a rule, and then he keeps the other one. So that they can keep their curse technique from the 19 days, etc., etc., etc. So the point transfer rule has been made as rule number 10, and Higuruma leaves just stating that, like, I'm probably going to turn myself in because regardless of how I felt and blah, 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 I did murder 2 people and stuff, and right now, staying with you because Yuji extends the hand of friendship sort of idea, like, hey, we could really use you with us, you know, you're not a bad guy. And, I mean, a dude who could take a full suit and get in a bathtub and go, you know what? This shit feels pretty nice. I'm on board with this dude. So, unfortunately, he's gone, and I don't think we're going to see him return until later on in this arc. Like, I mean late arc. If this arc is going to be, let's say, 60 chapters, we're not going to see him to the last, like, 10 of those 50, you know what I mean? Or at least, like, 45, right? Let's say if the arc was 60 chapters, just for just a ballpark number. So, yeah, very unfortunate with that, where I don't think we're going to see him again for a while, and stuff like that. But, yeah, so I guess we're sort of moving on from that. But what we get here with the Reggie dude, and we jump back over to Fushiguro and all this stuff, is pretty much Reggie is the one to basically explain that the culling game doesn't actually make sense from a logistic standpoint, because the transportation, the fact that between Higuruma and the other guy, I forget his name, the other guy, they've already wiped out 60 sorcerers. So if the idea was to gather a shit ton of cursed energy, then this is a terrible way to do it, because the better idea would be to gather everyone and prevent them, either have them be in long drawn out battles or prevent them from actually, like, fighting on that level. But if, like, they're actually they're bringing all the cursed energy together and then they're, like, slowly chipping away at it. That's not a good idea, right? So Reggie basically, that's just the summary. But Reggie pretty much brings this up to summarize that it doesn't make sense. If their whole goal was to collect all the cursed energy, this is a bad way to go about it, right? And do you really need to collect cursed energy when we got Yuta, the real main character in one of the colonies? But, yeah, so either way, apparently, what Kenjaku, and Reggie apparently knows of Kenjaku. Now, we do see a shot of Kenjaku, who is apparently meeting with, at first, I thought that this was the higher-ups, the Jujutsu, you know, the sorcerer, the council, you know, the Jedi council for sorcerers or whatever, right? Like, we're always talking about the higher-ups that Gojo wanted to murder back in the past, that they talk about with the principals and stuff like that, like the higher-ups and the old geezers and stuff like that. I know they have a name, I just can't think of it. They actually have an official, like, the Jujutsu, I don't know, government or council or whatever they're called. At first I thought it was that. But then they brought up the idea of a bomb, and apparently Kenjaku's meeting with the Chinese, and he's speaking in Chinese and stuff, and I'm just like, well, wait a minute now. And Reggie brings up the fact that he doesn't know what the bomb will be or where it will be dropped, but it could happen at any point, and it could happen now. So this is the reason that his strategy is to gather a bunch of powerful allies, accumulate a bunch of points, and be ready for, in a worst case scenario, at least he'll be prepared in some. He doesn't really seem to have an end game. He just says, I'm gathering powerful allies and accumulating points. But he doesn't say, like, what is that going to do if they drop a quite literal, I think he sort of means a bomb in a, like, we see a silhouette of a bomb. I'm not sure if he's meaning a literal bomb, but if he's not actually meeting, if Kenjaku's not meeting with the Jujustu High Council, and he's actually meeting with the Chinese, like, mafia or government or whatever, this looks like the Gorosei for Chinese people, then potentially he's starting a war, buying a literal, like an A-bomb, like a nuke or something. I don't know. I don't know what the hell is going on, to be perfectly honest with you, but I find it absolutely hilarious. Like, because at first I'm thinking, like, we're taking it a little literally that it's a literal bomb, because the way Reggie talks about it is sort of like the plan will be revealed, the plan being the bomb, like the secondary plan. The plan within the plan. I'm planning around the plan and the plans of our plans, you know? That kind of shit, right? So, the Culling game is the cover for the true goal, the true plan. And this is a bombshell. And when that bombshell drops, I think Reggie is sort of using bomb in this instance as more of a metaphor, not a literal bomb. But maybe I'm totally wrong and it is a literal bomb, hence why we see him going. And if I'm wrong and that's not the Jujustu High Council, and it is like some Chinese government officials or what have you, then shit. There's a little bomb and they're just going to nuke all the goddamn sorcerers for some reason. I don't know. Anyways, so for the most part after this, they fight, right? Fushiguro brings up the idea he knew that they had another member attacking him from behind. He had knew the whole time. Knew. Bam! And it drops on the guy who tries to attack Fushiguro. He sends, of course, Wolf Boy up against, our favorite wolf. He sends the wolf up against Reggie, but Reggie ends up stabbing the damn thing. So the chapter basically ends after a little skirmish between them that it's now going to be Reggie versus Fushiguro, and apparently a random eyeball is floating in the middle of the sky and goes off like a goddamn bomb in front of Fushiguro's face. So I have no idea what's going on there. Reggie does state, and the chapter and page of the chapter, I believe, stated this sort of idea, but Reggie says something along the lines of, you're trying your best not to kill us, so you're holding back because you want our points. Killing us only gets you like the 10 or the 20 or whatever, right? 20 point or the 5 points or whatever it is. I think it's 1 point for normal, 5. Anyways, you don't want to kill us. You want all our points because Fushiguro confirmed that they have like over 100 points between them, and it's like, that's all I need. Give me your points, you know. So he's trying to beat them into submission. Well, they'll give him, where they will give him his points, but by the looks of it, Reggie's like, with you showed your hand. Now we know you're going to try your best not to kill us. And that puts you at a disadvantaged situation, and then boom, with the eyeball, an exploding eyeball floating in midair, and that's the end of the chapter. Now, in all honesty, as I said, the chapter's not bad. I got a lot of questions about who the fuck is Kenjaku, and it doesn't actually make sense. Like, I could argue that there's a Jujustu High Council in different, we like to think it's all happening in Japan, but there's other places in the world. So potentially Kenjaku went to China and is talking to the Jujustu High Council of China. That could be a thing for all we know. We don't have enough world building or world lore to tell us that there's not more than that Japan's the only one and there's nothing else, right? So I don't believe there's enough world building to tell me that these aren't all a Jujustu High Council of the Chinese, and maybe they're a superpower and they make our Jujutsus look a little bit like jokes. I don't know. I have no idea. But potentially, I think there are 3 possibilities. 1, it's a Jujustu High Council of some sort. Number 2, it's the Chinese Mafia. And 3, it's the Chinese government. Those are my 3 options. Do you guys have any other options? And is it a bomb? And my only other question with this chapter is it a literal bomb? Or is bomb being used as a metaphor here to say, we don't know what type of bomb Kenjaku's going to drop on us, but there's clearly one in the making. We don't know what it is. The culling game is a facade, covering up whatever his real plan is. And if we don't figure out what it is before he decides to, hit the trigger, pull the trigger, whatever, hit the button, it might already be too late to stop it, whatever it is. So that's the way I initially took it, but I can also see that it could be a literal bomb. I'm not really sure. But anyways, those are my two questions I have for you. That's right, you. I want you. I'm not Uncle Sam, but let's do the So I want you guys to let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think of those two things? Who do you think Kenjaku was meeting with? Like, who are they? And number two, is it a literal bomb, or is it, as I said, a metaphorical bomb? Let me know down in the comment section down below. I think the chapter was pretty good, and I am looking forward to seeing if the culling game can evolve, because we did get, even though I haven't been a huge fan and I wasn't too happy with the direction of Jujutsu Kaisen with the culling game and stuff. I thought that was kind of weird. So far, I've enjoyed, like, the Higurama stuff has been pretty good. Fushiguro is definitely a great character, so I'm not enjoying this so far, but with Higurama gone, I think we really need to pick up the pace. Not really that interested in Reggie or any of that shit, so I think we need to keep getting these snippets of Kenjaku doing something, or bring Yuta back into the story, or let's go meet the other person with over 100 points, sort of idea, and let's try to go from there, right? Or let's jump in with Hikari, let's jump in with Yuta, let's jump in with somebody else, and let's see what else is going on. That being said, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, fourth, and most importantly, drink, but responsibly, as always, as I always do. And we'll see you guys back here next time for Jujutsu Kaisen, chapter 168. I am looking forward to it. Merry Christmas to everybody who celebrates it, and we'll see you back here next time. Peace out.